Welcome back, and today we're looking at the American Bladeworks Model 2. This knife is a mid-tech and is 100% made in the U.S. All parts are sourced in the U.S. and it's made by one man in his small little shop. I think he's still in his garage, so he tries to pump them out as fast as he can, but you definitely need to be patient. Of course, they are sold out right now, unfortunately, but if you're interested in getting one of these, definitely follow him on his social media platforms and also sign up for his mailing list on his website. They do come around at dealers from time to time as well. Also, I think River's Edge Cutlery is one of his authorized dealers. But let's take a close look at this one. You have a nice Warncliffe blade that's going to be excellent for doing utility cutting, drag cuts. Excellent for doing in-hand cutting, cutting rope or cutting cardboard, especially because it'll be a very powerful edge. When you're pushing down on it, you have a lot of force to be able to push behind it. And he went with this. He removed the machining lines on here, which I didn't really mind the machining lines that he had on the first Model 1s. And he took those off and put a light stone wash on the steel, and it's a very, very slick finish, like very, very smooth, so it should pass through materials pretty nicely. Do have some jimping up here, but it's just pretty much aesthetics because it is pretty slick. It doesn't really give you extra traction. However, I don't really see a need for the jimping anyway. I didn't really need it at all. It does have a sharpening tool, but it just barely clears that plunge. So once you sharpen it, you're either going to have to extend that or it may start to widen up in the back. You can, however, extend it yourself because the stop pin is in front of the flipper tab, so you can, open it up as much as you would like. And the star for the show on this one, besides its beautiful looks, are the fact that it's in CPM Magnacut and it's Rockwell to 64 HRC. As well as this thing ground pretty nice and thin at around 14 to 15 thousandths behind the edge. Now let's take a look at the action. It is a flipper deploying knife. It does have some jimping up there, and it is rounded over, so it's a fairly comfortable jimping and comfortable flipper tab. Now it is sitting a little bit lower than I would have liked to see. I would have loved to see it up here, but the way this knife's set up, it's really hard to do that. That said, this thing rockets out. Now I think that has to do with it has a little bit more lock bar pressure on this one, and it's nice and smooth. Now, it does have a detent ball ramp, and that's where it comes off the detent, but you can easily pass it. I do get the double clutch every once in a while because if I let it land right there, that's where my finger is, and then I can't get past it. So, I wish it could have put the detent, spot maybe right there, but like I said, I'm no knife maker, so I don't know how that all goes. But as it sits, it's easy to break that detent because of that ramp. But I do get the double clutch from time to time. But very snappy riding on ceramic bearings and a ceramic detent ball. Close it up. Take a look at these beautiful scales. Absolutely stunning. Love that pinstriping. Very, very nice. Adds some texture, some grip. Now, they are flat scales, but he did a wonderful job of chamfering all the way around it. No sharp spots that you don't want to be there. You have the beautiful American Bladeworks captured pivot right there, and just look at that. That's, I think it's a T15 maybe. It's either a T10 or T15. I'm pretty sure it's a T15, but look how crisp that is. Made in the USA, baby. You have a 3D milled titanium pocket clip. Now this is tip up right hand carry only, unfortunately. You have a geared titanium backspacer. Very nicely done. It is raised up a little bit. Didn't cause any issues for me. Blade centering is perfect on mine. Now the weight on this guy is butt heavy because underneath these titanium scales, he has inset stainless steel liners on both sides. I would have loved to see that liner at least not put on this side it would have brought the weight down a little bit, but let's check it out on the scale. First off, in grams, at 136.9 grams and 4.829 ounces, which isn't terrible. I've carried this a lot. Didn't really have any problems with it. It is a 7.8 inch knife with a 3.25 inch blade, however. The milled tie pocket clip works phenomenally. It has a good bit of spring to it. Now, it's not deep carry. You have that much taken out of the pocket, but at least you have something to grab a hold to pull it out of the pocket. Take a look at the lockup. Now, mine's pretty late. It's sitting at around 85, 90% or so. Mine's a bank vault. Now, I will have to mention that I did have to bring him mine at Blade Show because some of these they get sent out, they had some lock failure. Mine had some lock slip, which caused a lock failure. But he's a super nice guy, took care of it, and he did the correct. He did what he had to do to make the other ones, you know, the way they need to be. So, you know, he's a super responsive guy. If you ever have an issue with his stuff, he is more than willing to take care of it. Access to lock bar is pretty good. Could have been a little bit better, but I can get my finger in there nicely. And I think that's why mine's a little bit later, because he had to increase that lock bar pressure because mine was kind of sliding off of it. Quick size comparisons. Here it is by the Model 1 and the Model 1 Warncliffe. They're pretty much, you know, what and what when it comes to overall size, pivot to pivot. But if you go butt to butt, the Model 2 is a little bit shorter. Next is the Rat Model 1 and 2. Spyderco PM2 and Para 3. All right, quickly we'll go back over my nitpicks and complaints. Like I said, the edge is a little bit wavy. I would have preferred some grippier jimping there. Maybe enlarge the sharpening choil a little bit, and maybe lose the stainless steel liner on the show side scale to reduce the weight on this guy, and maybe some lighting pockets on the other side. I won't really fault it for the lock slip because I do know he got these out to us rather quickly so we could check them out and you know, start testing them. So, you know, I don't want to say that that's a problem that'll be there across the board. So if you do happen to get one, do have any issues, just message him. He will take care of you on that. So overall, I like the knife. I carry it an awful lot. I carry the Model 1 Warnie as well a good bit. This one just looks so dang nice. I've gotten so many compliments from non-knife people whenever I've used this in front of them. I like the ergos of it, and the Magnacut at 64 just performs outstanding. I could probably strap this back to where it was almost when I got it, and after that first sharpening, I could probably, you know, straighten out most of the waviness to that edge. So you know, it's a pricey knife, $329. You got to make that decision. You know, it's hard for me to say, you know, it's worth it or not worth it, you know, at that price. But like I said, it's totally USA made, one-man band, all materials made in the US. You know, that's what a lot of y'all want, a lot of y'all ask for, and that's what I want to try to give y'all as much as I possibly can. And I like to support those makers as much as I possibly can. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. And I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.